Lil Uzi Vert's tattoos explained. Whether you love him or you hate him, it's hard to deny that Lil Uzi Vert is one of the most unique rappers in the new wave. The guy's musical style easily jumps between emo ballads to hyped trapped anthems and everything in between. While many initially wrote him off as just another mumble rapper, he has shown that he has real staying power in the rap game, thanks to his versatility. The unique style that Uzi brings to rap is just another extension of his personality. If you follow him on social media or have ever seen him in interviews, you know just how much of an oddball he really is. He is equally as influenced by Future and Chief Keef as he is by Marilyn Manson and Gigi Allen. He might spit some tough guy bars, but he's also been found posing in the women's section while out shopping with Young Thug. And these days he seems far more interested in doing wheelies on his four-wheeler than he is interested in dropping music. While Uzi tends to share a lot of himself and his distinctive personality with his fans, there is also a lot about him that is still mysterious. Hardcore fans will remember the pain of waiting for Eternal to take and not knowing what his situation with his label was like. Many will also remember when he said that he was quitting music back in 2017, without much of a real explanation offered. Clearly, there is a lot going on through Uzi's head that we don't know about. One aspect of Uzi that is still largely shrouded in mystery is his tattoos. Like many of his fellow rappers, he's got plenty, and they all have meaning. If you've ever wondered what the story is behind all the ink on Uzi, let's check it out. Before I jump into this video though, make sure you like it and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Now, here are Lil Uzi Vert's tattoos explained. Number 7. His Faith forehead tattoo. One of the first tattoos you'll notice when you look at Uzi's face is the word faith that he has tattooed in cursive on his forehead. Interestingly enough, this was also Uzi's first ever face tat. While lots of other rappers coming up at the same time as him were mindlessly hopping on the face tat trend, Uzi wasn't just trying to fit in with his competition. A lot of thought actually went into this piece of ink. It all started when Uzi first had his real job at a grocery store called Bottom Dollar, and it lasted a total of 4 days. He realized that he just wasn't capable of living life like a normal person, and that was partially due to his intense dreams of being a rapper. He didn't want to settle for a regular life, but he knew it would take a lot of work to make it in the rap game. So what did he do? Well, he got a face tattoo. Now that he had some ink on his face, he could no longer just work a normal job. This move forced him to focus on his rapping, as he no longer was able to have a backup plan. While I can't say getting a face tattoo is something I would recommend everybody do, if you really want to achieve your dreams, you need to go in 100% without looking back. And that's exactly what Uzi did. Number 6. The Adinkra cheek tattoo. After his faith tattoo, it wasn't long before Uzi decided to get another face tattoo. Next up was a small symbol on his cheek that has mostly remained unnoticed. The tiny symbol looks like some kind of hieroglyphic, but Uzi really hasn't spoken about its origins very much. He did discuss it in one interview a while back, however. According to Uzi, this tattoo is actually what is called an Adinkra symbol. It might look like a dollar sign inside of a circle from afar, but it's actually a much more complicated symbol that represents the majesty and supremacy of God. This tattoo, as well as the rest of the Adinkra symbols, come from Ghana, and they can be found in textiles and pottery dating back quite a long time ago. But why did Uzi opt for such a meaningful African symbol? Based on his raps, you wouldn't expect Uzi to feel much of a conscious connection to his roots like this. But hey, he's always full of surprises. Number 5. 215 chest tattoo. Uzi has more than his fair share of face tattoos, but he also has lots of other areas as well. One of his more prominent pieces is the number 215 on his chest. This tat is Uzi's way of shouting out the area that he was born and raised in, Philadelphia. 215 was the area code in the area of Philly that Uzi was from. Despite growing up in Philadelphia, a lot of people originally assumed that Uzi was actually from Atlanta. That's fair enough, as he certainly borrows some pieces of his sound from Atlanta stars like Young Thug, but he also has been known to hang around and collaborate with rappers like Migos and 21 Savage, artists known for defining the modern Atlanta trap sound. But despite all this, Uzi is indeed a true Philadelphian. In addition to his 215 tattoo, Uzi has also shouted out his city plenty of times in his music. Fans will remember the opening conversation in the SoundCloud Lucy YSL, as referencing Philly, as well as some more recent lyrics from the Eternal to Take cut Homecoming. If you listen closely, you can definitely find plenty of times where Uzi has reaffirmed his connection to his city. Number 4, the R.I.P. Chico on his left forearm. Uzi isn't generally considered one of the most street rappers on the planet. He might have a few bars about being a gangster here and there, but most people know that that's not really Uzi's thing. But still, that doesn't mean that he has never lost a friend to violence on the street. One of Uzi's closest friends, Chico, was killed by rival gang members, and Uzi has a tattoo on his left forearm to honor him. Not a whole lot is known about Chico, but it is known that he and Uzi were friends long before he had ever had any fame. They grew up in the same area in Philadelphia, and at some point Chico, also known as Danny, was shot. This clearly deeply affected Uzi, as he wrote an entire song called R.I.P. Chico that discusses how much he misses him. It was recorded during his sessions for Love is Rage 2, though it actually never wound up being released. Another unreleased Uzi track that references Chico is Of Course. A favorite leak for many friends, Of Course, mentions Chico when Uzi says, "Rest in peace Chico, for that boy you know I'm gonna keep flexin'." He also mentions that Chico was caught lacking by the ops when he died, and that he still calls his phone and texts him to this day. Number 3, the Roman numerals neck tattoo. One of Uzi's smaller tattoos can be found on his neck. In small writing are the cryptic symbols CCCXIII and BB. While no one is really sure what the CCCXIII is about, these Roman numerals translate to 313, by the way. Perhaps he's shouting out Detroit? The BB tattoo is a bit more clear. It's a pretty obvious shout out to Brittany Bird, Uzi's longtime girlfriend. Brittany and Uzi go way back. Their relationship started in 2014, a time when no one really knew about Uzi. They continued to date and he got more and more famous, but the status of their relationship has been pretty shaky over the years. While plenty of songs reference how he feels about her, she was even featured in the Money Longer video, there has also been plenty of evidence to say that they have broken up. Several times. The lyrics to X are pretty obviously about Britney, as are most of the bars on Uzi's sadder tracks. Uzi has also been known to post to social media when he's in his feelings, and there have been plenty of Instagram stories and tweets over the years that suggest everything isn't great for this couple. Uzi and Britney have been seen together relatively recently, but it's unclear whether they are still together or are just friends. Either way, Uzi will be living with Britney forever, or he'll at least be living with her initials forever. I can't say I'm surprised by this tattoo either, as Uzi definitely seems like the kind of guy to get his girlfriend's name tatted. Number 2, the Steaktown Zombies stomach tattoo. Did you know that Uzi didn't always go by the name Lil Uzi Vert? Like many rappers, he released plenty of music that never really went anywhere. Unlike some others though, he went by a different name, C-Lab Vertical. The Lil Uzi part came because someone said that he spits fast like an Uzi. The vertical references the fact that he planned to go straight up to the top of the rap game. Go figure. Anyway, back to the C-Lab Vertical days, Uzi always was a part of a group of Philly rappers known as Steaktown. You know, like Philly cheesesteaks. The rest of the crew didn't blow up nearly as hard as Uzi did, obviously. He didn't really release much music with them, but one track called Steaktown Anthem received some buzz, although a good amount of that came when people realized that a young Uzi was in the video. Uzi has obviously come a very far way since his days as C-Lab Vertical, and he definitely doesn't collaborate with other members of Steaktown anymore, but he still shouts them out with his tattoo on his stomach, as I assume they're still good friends to this day. Number 1, the cat with an eye patch neck tattoo. While many of Uzi's tats reference a very personal thing from his life, there are also lots that are just cool pieces that seem to fit in with his style. The skeleton playing a guitar and the anime girl on his stomach really don't have much of a deep meaning. He just thinks they look cool. The same can mostly be said for the cat with an eye patch that he has tattooed on his neck. This cat doesn't reference anything from his personal life, but it does reference something else. The interesting design is actually lifted from a movie that Uzi likes called A Place Beyond the Pines. The movie stars Ryan Gosling as a stuntman that falls into a life of crime. It's a gritty movie. Ryan's character has the same cat tattoo in the movie, and that's where Uzi got the inspiration. Who knew Uzi was a film buff? As far as tattoo inspo goes, this is definitely a deep cut. It just speaks to the fact that Uzi is into some really eclectic stuff. You wouldn't expect most rappers to get their tattoos from neo-noir movies that feature soundtracks by minimalistic, modern classic composers. But at least in most ways, Uzi isn't like most rappers. I mean, he wore Trip pants to the Grammys. And there you have it, a short look at some of Uzi's most interesting tattoos. While plenty of these pieces have no stories behind them, it's cool to see how many of them actually hold some serious significance for the rapper. So which tattoo had the best story in your opinion? Did you already know about all these tattoos? Let me know in the comments. And before you leave, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to our channel.